Everyone just saw what I did tonight. I said I was going to do it. I did do it. I was always the better piece, and now you get to see who the real star of UBW is. Ain't none of these guys here. It's this guy, number one.
I'm back at Square One Academy, and today I'll be interrogating someone who I was initially thrilled had accepted our invitation to get bossed. But given recent events, Jackson Heart, thank you for joining us.
You're very welcome. It's an honour to be here. It's a pleasure to grace you with my greatness.
Let's start on a positive note. What first inspired you to pursue a career in the squared circle?
What first inspired me, watching wrestling, sitting, looking at the TV, seeing guys like Eddie Guerrero telling me to lie, cheat and steal. Guys like Daniel Bryan, Rey Mysterio, Shawn Michaels, watching these guys, and I was taken by the athleticism, the big characters, and the storylines. And obviously I'm at a point in my life where I never really grew out of that, and now I'm blessed and lucky enough I get to do that in the ring. I do it very well.
Who would be your dream opponent from both the current UBW roster and if you could face anyone from any era of wrestling?
Dream opponent. Ooh, there's a few who come to name. At the top of the list would be that bum weight wrestler, Smashing Mike, because this guy's just running his mouth daily, telling everybody he's not ready and they get tired. I see this guy gasping for breath every 5 minutes. He thinks he's this top-level athlete, but he really needs to be in there with someone who can keep up. And I'm more than happy to show Mike the 20 people he brings, his mum, his sister, cousin, everybody he knows, exactly who the top dog is in that ring. Truman's one of those guys as well. He thinks that he's at the top of UBW, but he needs to get shown who's really the number one. There's that Flight Boy as well. I mean, he's injured at the moment. When he gets his leg back to work, I'm sure at some point I can show him how it works in the ring. Adonis Payne is a nice one. I know he's in the tag division. He's a solid guy. We've met a couple of times before. Maybe we were on different sides of the fences, but when he's come away from the tag, I'm sure it'd be nice to show him exactly what I'm all about again. For me, for any era, it would have to be Eddie Guerrero, just because he was my number one. He's the person I watch most for inspiration, and I probably took a couple of my tricks from. But for me, that would be the match. WrestleMania, ladder, it wouldn't matter. Just me and him, just to see who's really the guy who lied, cheats and steals. I know he thinks it's him, and he comes out in his little lowrider. But I want to see if I can keep up with him. I want to show him who's really the bad dog in that ring, and it's me.
We know that you put in a lot of hard work outside the ring. What advice do you have for aspiring grapplers?
Aspiring grapplers. Okay, first of all, you need to work out like Jackson Heart. It's going to be really hard. You're not going to be able to do it, so maybe just give up. Also, you're going to have to look in the mirror, look at yourself real deep and hard, and ask yourself, do you look like Jackson Heart? No, you don't. So, first of all, take a seat on your sofa, have a glass of milk, some cookies, more so than you've already had this evening. Maybe think about doing something else. You're never going to be as good as me. Why are you going to get into my profession? Like, it's just not going to happen. Actually, as a matter of fact, if you're an aspiring grappler, go speak to, I don't know, go message Tommy Carl. He might want to teach you how to wrestle. He's a nice guy. I'm not a nice guy. Don't get in my profession. You're never going to be as good. Get out of the way. I don't like you. Whoever you are, get out.
We've seen you put your body on the line and taken punishment that would have floored lesser opponents. Who would you say has pushed you further than any other?
Ooh, good question. I like that though, because a lot of the punishment I have taken would absolutely stop the lesser opponents. Leo Edwards, great example of someone who would get stopped. I'd have to give it to Mr. King. There's definitely parts of me that he's taken with me in our matches. That ladder match, I can still feel. There's parts of my shoulder which I probably needed stitches for. So I'll give him his due. He's a tough guy. He's definitely my toughest opponent.
You always seem so focused entering the arena. How do you prepare before a bout?
Ooh. For my preparation, it's a lot of getting into the zone. It's a lot of press ups. It's a lot of sit ups. It's working out constantly. And I stay focused on the fact that I know when I get in that ring, I have to execute and be better than the other guy. Because for me, it's all about being number one. It doesn't matter who I'm in the ring with. It doesn't matter how long they've done it. I have to win and I have to be better and I have to put on a better show. And I feel like I do that. And that's what drives me.
And now I feel we must address the elephant in the room.
Oh, this doofus here. What are you doing?
In my last interview in this very building, you were handed a ringing endorsement by the man who is lauded by his peers as the greatest of all Square One champions. Given your long history with this man, what drove your recent actions in not only betraying Leo Edwards' friendship, but also ending his in-ring career?
I mean, greatest Square One champion's a bit of a stretch. I mean, the guy was past it, let's be honest. He didn't want to be here. If you don't want to be here, just leave. He wanted someone to put him out of his misery. It was like putting down that dog that you love. Like, you love that dog. He's been your best friend for years, but he's got a limp. He's sad all the time, and he just needs to go. So I done him a favor. And actually, UBW and all the fans owe me a thank you. I did you all a favor. Everyone was sick and tired of him dragging himself to the ring, crying. He's got no shoes. It's depressing. It's sad to watch. His mum sat there in the front row and she's upset too. I'm glad he's gone. And the reason why is just simple. It's growth. It's progression. It's natural. At the end of the day, he was a close friend of mine, but he was getting in the way of what I need to achieve because I'm destined for far bigger things than he could ever dream of. I don't want to be the greatest Square One champion. I want to be the greatest champion of all time, and he's just in the way. And that's why I got him out of the way.
Leo Edwards described you two as brothers. Was this ever true?
Ooh. I mean, probably is true. I mean, we were brothers. We were very, very close. Leo Edwards knows me better than most people in the locker room. But what it comes down to is the fact that ultimately he was holding me back. He held me back for years. I trained with this guy. We came through together. And yeah, like, we had loads of fun in and out of the ring. He knew me very well. I trusted him. He trusted me. But how many times he let me down? Whether it was Sunshine Machine and he gets pinned, whether we're trying to win the titles and he gets pinned, how many times can you watch someone lose? And then after that, I'm having rivalry of the year, the best matches of my career, and he's just losing. It's sad. It's boring to watch. Nobody wants to see that. So I did him a favor. I did all of you a favor when I kicked him in the face and he laid there on the ground. He needed an exit. I gave it to him in the best way possible. The best match of his career. He should thank me. His mum in the front row, she was there. She saw it all. I'm sure she can thank me. And now, actually, he can spend more time with his grandma, retired at home with her, and their whole family can be together. So, to be honest, him and everyone he knows, the fans, you all owe me a massive thank you.
You've yet to taste title success here in UBW or in Square One. Which title holders should be watching their back?
Every single one of them. Every single, top to bottom. I don't care. I'll even go and win the women's title as well. I'll enter that just to win it. I want the tag belts. I want the Young Lions belt. I want the heavyweight championship belt. I would look very good with gold around my waist. It would suit my complexion. So there's no reason for me not to have all the belts. I want to be Thanos. I want all of the stones. It's a matter of time, and you're right. And thank you for the question, because why hasn't Jackson Hart got the belt? I just need the opportunity. Everybody knows I'll win it. Everybody knows there ain't anybody out there on that roster who's going to stop me. And if we want to take this business to the next place it needs to be, it has to be with me. No one's fit enough in this company to take the responsibility. Look at the size of my shoulders. I'm built for that level of responsibility. It's just a matter of time.
What should we expect next from the Black Crown?
From the Black Crown, domination. It goes back to what you just said about titles, the tag belts, the Young Lions belt, the British heavyweight belt. We don't just want the championships in UBW. That's where we start. We're going to get those belts. We're going to want everyone in UBW to see us on top. And then after that, it's worldwide. It's everywhere in BritWrest. It's every single championship. It's us on every single poster. It's the top pay. If you have a championship, you're in my way. If you are on the top of the bill, you're in my way. If you're on a poster, you're in my way. And I don't want anybody standing in my way. And me and Josh are going to roll over every single person in this business until we're done. And until I have all of the belts, all of the money, and I stand on top of it looking damn good, I'm not going to be happy or satisfied.
We would normally have some fan questions here, but those we have received are unsuitable for broadcast.
I don't care about the fans anyway. All I've got is stupid questions, so who cares?
Crisps or biscuits?
I like Maryland's, okay? Everybody likes Maryland's. The double chocolate.
Thank you, Jackson Hart. You've been bossed.